The real way to build a brand in 2024 is to do everything opposite of everybody else. And you'll be probably ready for the shift when it comes, but it's going to it might be sooner than we think. You all are tired of their asses. You can't stand these women. It's so amazing to me that they think that they're likable. I know we have our own, when you're in your world of existing and you're like, I just want to be liked. But the real thing that you're saying is, I just want to like myself. And I want to be able to block out the sickness of other people. That's called, you all want boundaries. You want to be confident enough to say no to an attractive person or to somebody who's a bully who will never, ever understand real life. And then you want to just walk away and not worry about it. You also want to be emotionally intelligent enough to know when you hurt someone that you hurt someone. And you want to be able to have those feelings of guilt and unrest and things like that. That's called logical. That's called a human being. You want to be able to grow in different experiences as a human being. And then what you want to build as a brand is you want people to not, what do I want to say to this? You want your voice to be acknowledged. Is that what we want? We want to be acknowledged. We don't want to be acknowledged. That's sales. We're working this out because I had it in my head earlier. I just didn't have the phone around. I was charging the phone. Now I forget. Sometimes that happens. Let me see if I can look it up because it's actually coming off somebody else's content. Hold on. So you don't want to, this is what I really wanted to say. So you don't want to matter. You don't want to matter to anyone. Because that puts you in a very pretentious predicament. But you want your words and the weight of your words to effectively deliver to people in the audience how it needs to be delivered to them, to where they can see something in life to make positive change or to expose them for who they are. And that's been my goal all along, by the way. I don't want to hear you've got time. You don't have any time. Now or never. It's now or never. Oh, you got time. Yeah, just go sit on there and go take an erotic photo. Go take your erotica photo. That means that this makes no difference to what people are dealing with in their life. That's called you live in fantasy land and you're a freak. You're actually a freak. You and your brand is posing erotically in a white background. And then you're like, wow, look at me compete with other women doing the same thing. Boobs. I'm very professional. You are? Look at all my money. Look how rich I am. Literally, that's what they're selling you on. Why are you scared of people's judgment? Because look at Mona Vand. That's judgment. Everything she does is 100% judgment. Right. 100% judgment is everything she produces. She calls it her career. So her career is to violently abuse everything that Americans stand for, to be hideous, to be vile, to be violent, to talk about nonsense and nothing while she gloats at the camera and looks like a freak. So those erotica faces that these people are doing, that is literally the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life. I'm not really sure how you all don't see it. You don't even make those faces to the people that you are closest to. Like, it's literally gone out of control. Like, before we used to have perfume catalogs or whatever. Like, that was what a catalog was for. But now you're all doing it as if that's a normal way to exist. It's like, what do you think, you're in a James Bond movie? You're on an influencer platform. You're a mom of 4 boys, and you consistently tell everybody. And now you're acting like you're a James Bond girl. So you're picking women out. They like pick women out to take the big hits because they know they're all guilty. They call it business. That's not business. That's sickness. The problem is no one taught them business. They didn't go to school for business, but they're making money. And they think, well, that means it's business. No, it doesn't. Because that's a Ponzi scheme, because you actually deliver on a product or a service if it's a business. So if you are spewing out filth, you are spewing out hate and filth, which is what Monovan does with every piece of content, with every influencer video these people make. You showing us your kid is spewing out destruction and HATE. Your emotions around you thought you had a pregnancy test when it was an ovulation kit. Nobody wants to see that. Okay, that's a really good place to go. What in this person's mind makes her think that her audience wants to see that? And then the audience validates her in her weakness. Jordan Peterson, can you elaborate on that for us? She thinks it's a pregnancy test. It's an ovulation. It comes back positive. So it's prime opportunity to try to get pregnant or whatever. Tells everyone about it. Shows up on the camera crying her eyes out because she thought she was she wanted to be part of the cool club to have baby number 2. So now they're trying to compete with each other to stay in the network while they use their kids to make money. And then her mind tells her to make a video about it, about how she's crying to her man, where they set up the camera and then they walk into the room and she's crying while he's holding the other kid. And the kid's going, what the hell's going on? Like, are you kidding? Is this really what we're dealing with here? These are your children. She meets her mother and father at church on Sunday. Her mother and father raised that shit. How could you not be disappointed in that? They then sit and have a conversation with the audience about how they thought they had a pregnancy test, but it was an ovulation kit, and then she's still crying. Talk about weak ass people. So how would a person who's that mentally unstable, how would they behave if someone called them out and said that's really not normal? That little bubble of energy of what I just said is where they all live in. It's called weakness. Weakness and violence happens in there. They have no control over their emotions, and we're watching them abuse children. Then we're watching women in the elitists compete with women that are mothers in small towns of Arizona. Some reason we got a lot of Arizona people like Bella Dolan. Now imagine Bella Dolan and second pregnant girl having conversations about an ovulation kit. And you're just going to be like, well, let's go viral. Brand deal off children. That's called baby selling. That's called selling babies. So it is important to delete TikTok from your life, but how can you delete TikTok from your life when the stamp of TikTok has affected 100% everyone's life across the globe with some of the sickest individuals who were sick before and they were tolerable, but now they're not even tolerable to be around, to where nobody wants to go anywhere except for the intolerable who go to parties and festivities. Understand what I just said and you'll really get why you don't want to hang out with anyone anymore. It's because look at these motherfuckers. Look at what they've done. This is not fucking business. This is a concentration camp. And the government, known as the Democratic Party, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, opened up the borders to allow this shit to happen in this country with a social experiment to fuck us all over, while your children were leading the war against you as parents. Unbelievable, isn't it?